So there's some galangal from underneath the cabin that I'm living in, and I'm just going to show you that, and this video is going to be on galangal versus ginger, because this is like ginger. So let me show you the view from the cabin here, looking into South Queensland, the border ranges. And that's galangal just there. That's the galangal, and I cut a piece from just down under there, and we'll go down there. So that stuff right there, galangal. And yeah. So you know, soon the pumpkin that I'm eating would be sourced from this vine. I'm going to put more vines along here. There's going to be vines all along here, like that one over there, but I just got it from the cheap farm stall. And here's some red tower ginger. You can eat only the yellow part, so you take all the red off and you can only eat the yellow. Tastes a bit like citrus. So this is galangal here, and oh, this is Benjamin Cowberg from consciousazine.com shooting this video for the $30 Bandit series, and all I did was, in true Aboriginal style or native style fashion, used a stick to dig up a tuber. And so you can see I've just dug around here, and that's the galangal right there. And so you can see, you know, one stalk was all that I got that big bundle off, so there's a lot down there. But yeah, so that's it just there. Galangal, and that's just to the stalk. So that's a good one to grow, because look how much you can get. Like out of that bunch there would be I mean, it's not going to run out because it's just going to keep regenerating. When you take some of the leaves, the new little shoots will have sun to start growing, so you're never going to run out, even if you just plant one patch for your whole family. So yeah, I definitely recommend planting this stuff, this galangal, because it's, like I've just said, very, not only does it, you know, seemingly proliferate pretty well, but I always encourage people to grow weedious and vinious plants, but things like this too. I mean, this isn't a weedious or vinious plant, but it moves quickly, you know, it grows pretty quick. It's a very simple structure plant, as you can see. Very simple structure. You know, it grows quickly, produces a lot of, like, the food part, what you're eating. So that's what you want. You always want the production when we're planting food plants. We're not just planting ornamental mentals. So this breakfast is costing me literally cents, because the galangal's free, the egg was free, the pumpkin almost free, because you know, when I'm growing it down there it will be, but you know, from the farm stall the whole big pumpkin was $2.50. The eggplant I'm using is going to cost a couple of cents, because I get a whole bag full of eggplant for $2, and I bought this 2 weeks ago and I've used probably already 5 of them, so you can see you get quite a lot for $2. And so yeah, the meal I'm going to cook up is going to only cost cents. So you can see really how abundance can accrue. And you know, when you're growing your own stuff, abundance really accrues really quickly. Like we've just seen how easily this grows. You get a couple of chooks, there's only 3 chooks, provide 2 or 3 eggs every day. You know, that's quite a few eggs by the end of the week. Yeah, and you know, you don't usually eat an egg every day. So yeah, you can see really how it accrues when you start growing your own stuff. Okay, g'day everybody. So, today's video is on galangal and ginger. I've just neatly titled it Galangal vs Ginger. But yeah, so I've just done the research now. We're going to go to the page, I'm just showing you how. Remember, consciousazine is not meant to be viewed on a dumb smartphone, like it says on the home page. No viewing consciousazine on a dumb smartphone, please. Go on your computer. Alright, so we're on the Your Natural Paradise page, as you can see. So, again, I'm not putting anything more on this page because it's huge. There's so many food plants discussed here. It already takes ages to load. So I'm done with that page pretty much. And we're going to the back notes page. That's where I'm up to, you know, filling up. I'm just going to fill up all the pages. Okay, let me have a drink, 1 second. Okay. There's all the pages in consciousazine, by the way. Or most of them we've seen there. So let's go down. Down, 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 down. Where are we? Okay. Here we go. Quite a long post, actually. Galangal versus ginger. So there you can see the picture. Galangal to the right and ginger to the left. They look pretty similar. And you've seen the plant, what it looks like. In the video before, just before, when I'm picking it out of the ground under the cabin here, where I'm currently staying in the 2014 abode. I have videos on this place in the $30 Bandit YouTube food plant teaching series, which is what this is an episode of that you're watching. So let's begin. This is quite complex, actually. Down the page in a second I'm going to struggle with a few of the paragraphs, so bear with me please, and I may make mistakes. Okay, galangal tastes drastically different than ginger. You almost never eat galangal raw like you eat ginger. It tastes rather bitter. The texture is woody, I agree, and gives quite an earthy, citrusy aroma instead of fresh, crunchy, sweet and spicy like ginger. Yeah, I pretty much agree with that. The older galangal has a more woody texture, and I noticed that after I left it for, I don't know, about 2 weeks. It started getting a lot woodier and harder to cut. How do I have my galangal? Well, at the moment I'm having it with like pumpkin and eggplant and I don't know, hash brown, and I don't know, some maybe some bread. What's it called? Turkish bread. Ginger. Sorry, garlic Turkish bread in the morning with an egg and stuff like that. So then I just put this on as a bit of a spice flavour. It does taste a bit peppery as it reads further down the page. Galangal is a root of the plant Zingiberaceae family, same as ginger, but it looks somewhat different than ginger, as you can see in the picture above. Galangal has a distinct peppery flavour, and I agree definitely with that. I like it, and is used in curry pastes, stir-fried dishes and soups. At first, galangal, or ka in Thai, appears similar to ginger. However, a closer look will reveal the difference between galangal and ginger. Galangal has tighter skin, is lighter in colour, and can have pinkish portions too. All of us know the taste and flavour of ginger, and also that's why I've done less on ginger in this video and post, because most of us know ginger pretty well. Galangal tastes more like pepper than ginger. Galangal that originated in Indonesia is also called lengkos and has a sharp flavour and pine-like aroma. This is the galangal that is more commonly found in fresh or dried powder form in the West. The second type of galangal has a pungent flavour and tastes like a combination of pepper and ginger. This galangal is believed to have its origin in southern parts of China. This type of galangal is popular in Thailand and locally called krakachai. Uh, the flavour of galangal would therefore depend on the type of galangal. The pine-like aroma comes from the galangal that originated in Indonesia. Most Westerners would know this type of galangal, apparently. I'm not sure what's going under the house that I've showed you in the video previously of me picking out the galangal under the cabin here. Not sure which specific variety it is. It says, and this is all from, the above was just all from this article, fresh galangal can be stored in a cool, dry place for around 2 weeks. If you decide to store galangal in your refrigerator, remember that galangal will need to be kept moist. Yeah, and ordinary paper wrapping would actually dry out the galangal by absorbing the moisture. Use greased paper instead. So that's a good little tip. Then I actually went to Wikipedia, and it turns out there's these 4 different types, not just 2 different types. The word galangal, or its variant galanga, can refer in common usage to 4 plant species, all in the Zingiberaceae ginger family. So that's them there. Okay, and then I went to another article, this one here. Okay, this is quite long. Rhizomes are not a significant source of any nutrients, because I typed into Google galangal nutrition, I think. So this article came up. So it's saying it's not a significant source of any nutrients, especially because they are rarely eaten in great enough quantities to constitute a serving. So they're saying here 1 serving is 64 grams of galangal, and it contains 45 calories and 2 grams of dietary fiber. It is also a source of sodium, that's salt, iron, vitamins A and C. It also has some phytochemicals, such as beta-sitosterol. Oh, okay, I'm not too familiar with that one, I don't think. Galangan, imodin and quercetin. I might come back and look into these at the end of the video, because I don't really know too much about these. Like ginger, I've actually never heard of. Oh, I have heard of that one. I've never heard of that one, and that one I think I have heard of. Like I've heard that mentioned with like people like you know, when you watch people like David Wolf and stuff, all their like health sort of, I don't know, I guess you call them gurus. You know, they always mention all this sort of stuff. So I think we might look into it further. Like ginger, galangal has been used for medicinal purposes to treat nausea, flatulence and dyspepsia, which I don't know what that is. Potential health benefits of galangal. So galangal has anti-inflammatory and antioxidant activities. Now this article had references and everything, so I thought it was pretty good. As you can see there, 5, 6. Researchers have proposed the benefits of galangal in certain inflammatory conditions. Recently, Korean scientists isolated 6 darylpentanoids from the rhizome of Alpinia officinarum, or galangal. All these compounds demonstrated inhibitory activities on nitric oxide production in lipopolysaccharide activated macrophage cell line raw 2647. So I don't know, that's quite scientific talk, isn't it? So we'll just take that as a good thing. Furthermore, these compounds suppressed expression of the inducible no-synthase protein and mRNA. Separately, Japanese researchers prepared 80% aqueous acetone extract of the galangal. This extract was found to contain darylpenoids and galangin, and it was also able to inhibit nitric oxide production in lipopolysaccharide activated mouse peritoneal macrophages. I've forgotten what a macrophage is. Might be a tumour or something? I think it might be a tumour. Not sure. I'm going to have a quick look. Macrophages, so we can kind of understand what we're reading. Macrophages. Oh, they're cells, or are important cells of the immune system, and they are formed in response to an infection. Okay. So it produced those immunocells, so that's good. These findings, including results from some other studies, are important to understand Galangal's anti-inflammatory activities. So basically it produces certain immuno cells, so that's good. Galangal may benefit people at risk of cancer. In a study of core L23 lung cancer and MCF7 breast cancer cell lines, UK researchers showed the anti-cancer activities of galangal extracts. As described in the previous section, galangal contains a flavonoid galangan. Oh, so it's a flavonoid. Galangan has shown to have antioxidative and free radical scavenging activities. Okay, so that's anti-aging. It modulates enzyme activities and suppresses the genotoxicity of chemicals. Interesting. Galangal also has a volatile oil. Researchers have shown this volatile oil could enhance effectively the skin permeation of 5-fluorouracil. Let's have a look what that is. So it can enhance the skin permeation of this thing. Yeah, wow. Gets intense, doesn't it? Okay, so this is something that's used to treat several types of cancer, including colon, rectum, and head and neck cancers. So that's good. So it promotes the skin permeation of that stuff. So more anti-cancer activity. Galangal may have benefits of lipid lowering. Okay. Researchers from China found that the galangal extract could potentially inhibit fatty acid synthesis. They propose the inhibitory mechanism is related to the activities of the main flavonoids existing in the galangal, such as galangan, quercetin, and camphorol. Let's have a look what camphorol is. I've heard of it before. Camphorol. So, you know, this is the type of talk you really should go back over and, you know, do your own research as well on the stuff that I didn't look further into. But yeah, this is getting quite complex. So that's a flavonoid. Okay, so it's isolated from tea, broccoli, defenillum, witch hazel, grapefruit, cabbage, so that's a good thing. So those things are in the galangal. While Korean researchers showed a pancreatic lipase inhibitor, blah 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 blah, I'm not going to even say that, from the rhizome of Alpinia officinarum, significantly lowered the serum TG level in corn oil feeding induced triglyceridemic mice and reduced serum triglyceride TG and cholesterol in Triton WRS1339 induced hypolipidemic mice. Let's see what that is. Reducing something here. Oh, okay. Atherosclerosis is a word used here. Increased atherosclerosis in hypolipidemic mice. Overexpression in macrophages suppresses atherosclerosis in hypolipidemic mice. Okay. So it reduces triglyceride and cholesterol in those mice. Finally, another group demonstrated an ethyl acetate fraction of Alpinia officinarum rhizome containing 3-methylenthiogalangan was a potent lipase inhibitor in a study of hyperlipidemic mice. Oh, well, it's just mice studies anyway. I might just wait until, it's sure of the human effects too. The studies come out about that. You can look into it if you like. Galangal may help emesis. What is emesis? God, aren't we glad we have Google? Okay, emesis. The action or process of vomiting. Okay. So Galangal helps the process of vomiting. Okay. It has anti-emetic activities. Japanese researchers found an ingredient of Galangal has anti-emetic activities, and you can look at that article and the reference to in that article for further details. So anti-emetic activities in chickens. Okay, so here's another article. Side effects. Next I thought, let's check, the side effects. Because there's a lot of properties there going on, a lot of activities, so I thought there might well be some side effects. And this article came up. There could be allergic reactions to Galangal, such as joint pain and rash. If consumed excessively, Galangal can have side effects such as heartburn and bloody stool. So, like that first article said, usually people don't really even consume enough quantity of it. So, and every time I've used it, I definitely haven't used 64 grams, so I'm not really worried about the side effects. I don't really eat it every day either. Ginger. So then I thought, okay, let's have a look how that sort of stacks up against ginger. So this is a really good article I found. And you can see all the subheadings here I've bolded. Anti-inflammatory effects. So let's read through this. Because remember, this is called Galangal versus ginger. I mean, ideally, that was just for a title. Ideally, you just want to eat both, in moderation, or, use them appropriately. Okay, so gastrointestinal relief. A clue to ginger's success in eliminating gastrointestinal distress is offered by recent double-blind studies which have demonstrated that ginger is very effective in preventing the symptoms of motion sickness. I remember my dad's a sailor, and I remember they gave me little ginger tablets when I was really young and I was vomiting when we would go around the headland at Mooloolaba, Sunshine Coast, Australia. And I remember every time we turned the headland into, like, I don't know, I think it was the biggest swell, and then the wind direction changed too, I think, I'm not sure. I'd vomit, and they gave me those ginger tablets, and if I remember correctly, they did have a calming effect. I could feel the calming of the gastrointestinalness. I could feel my gastrointestinal relief. And so, yeah, I would agree. In fact, in one study, ginger was shown to be far superior to Dramamine, a commonly used over-the-counter, so pharmaceutical and prescription drug for motion sickness. So definitely go the ginger. As I always say, manic organic is the motto. Stay away from synthetics as much as you can in any field, anywhere, whether you're using weed sprays or food or whatever, or medicine. Manic organic is my motto. So do your research, really, that means. Ginger reduces all symptoms associated with motion sickness, inducing dizziness, nausea, vomiting, and cold sweating. Yeah, definitely reduces all that, I remember. You'll have to, you know, check what your dosage is. I didn't need much of it, I remember. I'm quite sensitive. Safe and effective relief of nausea and vomiting during pregnancy. Sorry, I forgot to bold that. I'll do that in a minute. Ginger's anti-vomiting action has been shown to be very useful in reducing the nausea and vomiting of pregnancy, even the most severe form, hyperemesis gravidum, a condition which usually requires hospitalization. In a double-blind trial, ginger root brought about a significant reduction in both the severity of nausea and number of attacks of vomiting in 19 of 27 women in early pregnancy, less than 20 weeks. Unlike anti-vomiting drugs, which can cause severe birth defects, again, manic organic, ginger is extremely safe because it's organic and it was put here by Earth, and that's why I always go on about the psychedelics, plant hallucinogens. They're also put here by Earth. Man has made you scared of the psychedelics, not Earth. Ginger is extremely safe and only a small dose is required. A review of 6 double-blind randomized controlled trials with a total of 675 participants, published in April 2005 issue of the journal Obstetrics and Gynecology, has confirmed that ginger is effective in relieving the severity of nausea and vomiting during pregnancy. The review also confirmed the absence of significant side effects or adverse effects on pregnancy outcomes. Interesting. Anti-inflammatory effects. Ginger contains very potent anti-inflammatory compounds called gingerols. These substances are believed to explain why so many people with osteoarthritis or rheumatoid arthritis experience reductions in their pain levels and improvements in their mobility when they consume ginger regularly. In 2 clinical studies involving patients who responded to conventional drugs and those who didn't, physicians found that 75% of arthritis patients and 100% of patients with muscular discomfort experience relief of pain and or swelling. So that's a large number, percentage-wise. Arthritis-related problems with your aging knees? Regularly spicing up your meals with fresh ginger may help, suggests a study published in a recent issue of Osteoarthritis Cartilage. So if you've got problems with your knees, ginger can also help. In this 12-month study, 29 patients with painful arthritis in the knee, 6 men and 23 women ranging in age from 42 to 85 years, participated in a placebo-controlled, double-blind crossover study. Whoa! Now that's a solid study, right? Patients switched from placebo to ginger or vice versa after 3 months. So they switched from placebo to ginger. After 6 months, the double-blind code was broken and 20 of the patients who wished to continue were followed for an additional 6 months. By the end of the first 6 months period, those given ginger were experiencing significantly less pain on movement and handicap than those given placebo. So it actually really works. Pain on movement decreased from a score of 76 at baseline to 41, while handicap decreased from 73 to 46. In contrast, those who were switched from ginger to placebo experienced an increase in pain of movement up to 82 and handicap up to 80 from baseline. In the final phase of the study, when all patients were getting ginger, pain remained low in those already low in those already taking ginger in phase 2 and decreased again in the group that had been on placebo. In other words, ginger works very good, very well. So not only did the participants' subjective experiences of pain lessen, but swelling in their knees, an objective measurement of lessened inflammation, dropped significantly in those treated with ginger. The mean target okay, let's not read that. While those who had been on placebo but were now switched to ginger experienced a decrease in knee circumference. So really swelling down. The swelling had decreased a lot by the look of things. When both groups were given ginger, mean knee circumference continued to drop. Okay, so how does ginger work its anti-inflammatory magic? Question mark. 2 other recent studies provide possible reasons. So a study published in November 2003 issue of Life Sciences suggests that at least one reason for ginger's beneficial effects is the free radical protection afforded by one of its active phenolic constituents, 6-gingerol. In this in vitro test tube study, 6-gingerol was shown to significantly inhibit the production of nitric oxide, a highly reactive nitrogen molecule that quickly forms a very damaging free radical called peroxynitrate. Another study appearing in the November 2003 issue of Radiation Research found that in mice, 5 days treatment with ginger, 10 mg per kilogram of body weight, prior to exposure to radiation, not only prevented an increase in free radical damage to lipids, fats found in numerous bodily components from cell membranes to cholesterol, but also greatly lessened depletion of the animal's stores of glutathione, one of the body's most important internally produced antioxidants. So it lessened the depletion of one of the body's most important internally produced antioxidants. Good stuff. A study published in February 2005 issue of Journal of Alternative and Complementary Medicine sheds further light on the mechanisms of action that underlie ginger's anti-inflammatory effectiveness. In this research, ginger was shown to suppress the pro-inflammatory compounds, cytokines and chemokines, produced by synoviocytes, cells comprising the synovial lining of the joints, chondrocytes, cells comprising joint cartilage, and leukocytes, immune cells. So it's saying ginger was shown to suppress the pro-inflammatory compounds that we previously named. So more inflammation control there. Protection against colorectal cancer. Gingerols, the main active components in ginger and the ones responsible for its distinctive flavour, may also inhibit the growth of human colorectal cancer cells, suggests research presented at the Frontiers in Cancer Prevention Research, a major meeting of cancer experts that took place in Phoenix in 2003. Pardon me. In this study, researchers from University of Minnesota Hormonal Institute fed the recording's going to cut out. I'm going to start again at that paragraph. Okay, apologies about that. I'm using the free version of Screencast-O-Matic, so it cuts out every 15 minutes. So this is where we were up to. By the looks of it, it's about to tell us how good gingerol is against tumours. In this study, Researchers from the University of Minnesota's Hormel Institute fed mice specifically bred to lack an immune system a 0.5 milligram of 6-gingerol 3 times a week before and after injecting human colorectal cancer cells into their flanks. Control mice received no 6-gingerol. Tumours first appeared 15 days after the mice were injected, but only 4 tumours were found in the group of gingerol-treated mice, compared to 13 tumours in the control mice. So that's a big difference. Plus the tumours in the gingerol group were smaller on average. So you can see already it definitely fights tumours. So I mean, there's probably no reason for me to read the rest of that paragraph. You can have a look and you can probably read it right now. Research Associate Professor Anne Bode noted, these results strongly suggest that ginger compounds may be effective chemopreventive and/or chemotherapeutic agents for colorectal carcinomas. In this first round of experiments, mice were fed ginger before and after tumour cells were injected. In the next round, researchers will feed the mice ginger only after their tumours have grown to a certain size. This will enable them to look at the question of whether a patient could eat ginger to slow the metastasis of a non-operable tumour. So they're going to see if eating the ginger will, stop the tumour once it's already like really established and stuff. Here's another subheading. Ginger induces cell death in ovarian cancer cells. Lab experiments presented at the 97th annual meeting of the American Association for Cancer by Dr. Rebecca Louie and her colleagues from the University of Michigan showed that gingerols, the active phytonutrients in ginger, kill ovarian cancer cells by inducing apoptosis, programmed cell death, and autophagocytosis, self-digestion of those cells. Phagocytes. Okay. Eat themselves. Yes, that's interesting. Hey, so the ginger, actually makes programmed cell death, and they clean themselves up, sort of thing. Ginger extracts have been shown to have both antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and anti-tumor effects on cells. So I'm not going to go into the details there. Let's go to the next subheading. Immune boosting action. Ginger can not only be warming on a cold day, but can help promote healthy sweating, which is often helpful during colds and flus, or you could go for a run. A good sweat may do a lot more than simply assist detoxification. German researchers have recently found that sweat contains a potent germ-fighting agent that may help fight off infections. Investigators have isolated the gene responsible for the compound and the protein it produces, which they have named dermicidin. Dermicidin is manufactured in the body's sweat glands, secreted into the sweat and transported to the skin's surface, where it provides protection against invading microorganisms, including bacteria such as E. coli, Staphylococcus aureus, a common cause of skin infections, fungi, including Candida albicans. So then there was another article that I found, and it stated pros, cons, and when not to take it, as you can see by the subheadings. The pros. It is known to relieve nausea and morning sickness. If you take ginger for morning sickness, use it for no longer than 4 days. Ginger is recommended to those who suffer from motion sickness, like I was saying about the boat sickness I had when I was younger. Ginger is believed to have anti-inflammatory qualities. We've read well into that. As a tea, it is said to ease headaches and sore throats, or assist if you have a cold or flu. I've heard people who will, make ginger and honey teas, stuff like that. You might put lemongrass in there as well. Fresh ginger is used for asthma, coughs, colic, heart palpitations, swellings, dyspepsia, loss of appetite and rheumatism, while the dried root is used to strengthen the stomach, inhibit vomiting and treat diarrhea. The cons, so the negatives. Ginger may interact with some prescription medications. Herbalists advise not to take more than 4 grams of ginger in a single day. Side effects may include bloating, gas, heartburn, and nausea. Right, I thought it treated nausea. But yeah, no, you can get that, can't you? The nausea from ginger. So as always, any plant or any hallucinogen or anything you ingest, you want to you don't want to just go fill up your whole stomach with it. You want to just test if your body has a reaction to it that's not positive. So when not to take it: children under 2 should not have ginger. If you are taking medications, consult a health practitioner, as all herbs can interact with other medications. Yeah, that's an interesting subject area. One nurse once said to me, I mentioned this in another video, she once mentioned to me, yeah, but do you know what you're meant to eat with what, and what you're not meant to eat with what? And I said, no, actually I haven't looked into that much, so that's something for me to look into, and a lot of you probably too. Things interact with other things, so you've got to be careful sometimes. Avoid ginger if you have a bleeding disorder or if you are taking blood thinners, including aspirin. So, which one? Because it's called Ginger vs. Galangal. Well, I set out with that title before I researched, and like I said at the start, it's not really as rigid as that. I would say, take either or either and both, as you need. Okay, so I hope you guys learned something from that. I certainly did. Let's quickly go and have a look at, I want to have a look at this, what was it called, quercetin or something. Where was that word? Yeah, quercetin. I've heard this before, so I just want to have a quick look what this is. So it's a flavonoid. A plant pigment with a molecular structure like or derived from flavone. It is found in fruits, vegetables, leaves, and grains. Okay, let's have a look at this one. I like this webmd.com website, it's good. Come on, inferior ancient internet. God. Slow enough for you? Yeah, so let's look for uses. So it says quercetin, possibly effective against prostate pain and swelling. So remember, this one's in Galangal, and it says insufficient evidence for these things: high cholesterol, heart disease, high blood pressure. But it says, some research suggests that it could be good for it, It's not known yet how important this is. quercetin has been safely used in amounts up to 500 mg twice daily for 12 weeks. So it looks pretty safe to me. And so yeah, I hope you guys learned something. I sure did. And there's lots more to look into there. Okay, we've got another couple of minutes, so I'm going to look into this one. This is also in Galangal. Whoops. This is a phytosterols. A phytosterol. Oh, it's similar to cholesterol, huh? Interesting. Let's have a look at the WebMD again. So this is in Galangal, isn't it? Yep. So this stuff is used to make medicine. It's used for heart disease and high cholesterol. It's also used for boosting the immune system and preventing colon cancer, as well as for gallstones, the common cold and flu, influenza, HIV and AIDS, rheumatoid arthritis, tuberculosis, psoriasis, allergies, cervical cancer, fibromyalgia, systemic lupus, erythematosus, SLE, asthma, hair loss, bronchitis, migraine headache, chronic fatigue syndrome. So, looks like a good one. So it's good for if you have trouble urinating because of an enlarged prostate or benign prostatic hyperplasia. Taking beta-cysterol helps the symptoms of BPH, but it does not actually shrink an enlarged prostate. So it just helps. Beta-cysterol is likely safe for most people when taken by mouth. It can cause some side effects such as nausea, indigestion, gas, diarrhea or constipation. Beta-cysterol has also been linked to reports of erectile dysfunction. Okay, so yeah, I hope you guys learned something, and this is another episode of the $30 Bandit. Let's go to YouTube and I can show you $30 Bandit. And this is part of www.consciousazine.com productions. Consciousazine. Hold on. Just let me highlight that bit. Here's how do you spell consciousazine. Conscious and then magazine. So here's the $30 Bandit. There's a lot of videos already made. 48 already, cool. And I do some free ones like Cobbler's Peg, Binzen's Pilosa, which is also known as Farmer's Friend. It's another toothache plant and it's a medicinal. So that was a $0 Bandit one. That means I just did that for free because I was interested in it. Or you can donate $30 and then I'll make you question answer videos. I'll make you specific videos like on the moringa tree I did for summer, and like the video you're watching, you know, specific videos like this one, also Wampee fruit benefits. So yeah, enjoy guys, and my name's Benjamin Kallenberg from www.consciousazine.com. Thanks for donating, Julie. Thanks a lot.